Hey guys, it's Lauren LaRosa here for 2L Television as always. But today I'm coming to you guys live and direct from Miami, and I have the fashionista herself, Miss Abigail from House of Diane Von Furstenburg, season 1. I watched the whole first season, couldn't get enough of it. Okay. Loved you, like even the time that you were on there, I just felt like you were your own person. You sold it. So can we take it back from before that? Because I know a lot of people have seen you there, but we want to know who you are, like before that. So when did your design career start? Because I know you are a fashion designer, right?
Yes. I usually tell people I'm an artist first at heart. I just choose fashion to express myself. That's like my medium, because every artist has their medium. Some people has music, some people have watercolors. Mine just happen to be fashion. So I've been sewing since I was 8. Hand sew. I was taught how to sew when I was like 8 years old.
Was that something your mother picked up?
Actually, no. Actually, she hated it. She hated it because all the kitchen napkins were gone, missing, curtains turned up, missing.
We just in the house sewing everything, Mom.
Cutting up stuff, and then it was put on like my dolls because I didn't, have any mannequins.
Yeah.
And I think around like the 5th grade, we had like a talent show, and everybody was singing and dancing, and I just wanted to showcase my art.
Right.
So I did a fashion show. My first fashion show was when I was like 10. And then put it on my
like friends. 5 times bigger. We're going to sell these in stores. I'm going to merchandise these. Okay, so you were a hustler since the age of 8.
Hustling.
Basically.
Yes, exactly.
Mama's napkins in the kitchen.
Yeah, mama's napkins in the kitchen.
Okay, so it's 2009 and you're styling, you're doing the photo shoot, you're like, I might be a model.
Right.
But then something happens where you go back into design, and then this show, House of DVF, comes up. So tell us a little bit about that.
It was unexpected, actually. People ask me, like, what did you do? How did you get on to the show? It's funny because I had my stylist portfolio on modelmayhem.com. Shout out to Model Mayhem.
So wait, the internet works, guys.
Yes, it does. Market yourself. Use it. So I had that on there, and I got this unexpected email saying, hey, I came across your, whatever, and turns out it was like a casting agent in LA. And then she was like, if you're interested, fill this out. So I filled it out, and I'm like, this might be a scam. But then we just started communicating, and then she hit me up. She was like, well, tomorrow at 10 a.m. you have a Skype meeting with the casting director for, this new Diane Von Furstenburg show. And at that point, there was no name for it.
Right.
So everything was just like the DVF project.
Yeah.
So started doing that, and then it took like 2 months for me to get like a final answer. But I got the call and say, hey, you're the final 10 girls that's going to be on the show. And it was just like, woo, woo.
Like, I made it.
Yeah,
so now you're on the show, though. So you go from Orlando, you go from, Mom, I'm in the kitchen, I'm stealing your stuff and I'm making clothes.
Yes.
I'm that beautiful black girl who's modeling in front of this camera, to Diane Von Furstenburg.
Right.
Like, high fashion, New York City.
Right.
The industry itself.
Right.
How was that change? If you could describe that change in one word, what would the word be?
The change from everyday me to DVF me?
Yes.
I would call it Phoenix. I felt like I was like risen from the ashes. Like I was torn down as far as like what all I thought I knew.
Right.
And put into like this new realm with new people, and just like this elevated status of what I thought I knew.
Right.
And then just like, it was just like a rebirth. And being on that show literally showed me that I cannot run away from certain things that I know that I was supposed to do.
Right.
That's why on the show, a lot of people don't know this, but I found out a lot about myself because of Diane. So she reassured me. She was like, don't be afraid to be this person. Don't be afraid to express yourself and do this. Not everyone can fit the mold. And I didn't fit the mold to be a brand ambassador, but I mean, I'm kind of doing my thing.
So I on the show, you and Brittany, you guys were really close on the show. Yes. And I don't know, I know how it is being African American in the industry that is totally dominated by people that don't look like you. So I don't know if it was that kind of clicked, or you guys just naturally built a relationship. But I did notice that when things went bad for either her or you guys were there for each other. And in her winning the final episode, how that felt for you as her friend within that relationship that you built.
Well, me and her, her and I gravitated towards each other because we respected each other. We were the only ones that had design experience, and we're the only ones that was actually in the industry. Everyone else was bloggers. Shout out to all my bloggers out there. Bloggers or photographers, but we were the only ones that was like
putting in the nitty-gritty hard
right?
work.
And we've been in it for years, so we kind of like. It's like when you see a sister doing good, you're like, I see you.
Right.
And so we just like gravitated towards each other. When she actually won, it was as if like I won. I felt like I won because it was just like when you help someone up, I mean, because that person's already there. So it's easy for you to like reach your hand up and for them to grab you. So I was very proud as if like it was me who was up there.
Right.
So, and anything that she needed from there forth, if she was stressed out, she would call me, you know, because it's not always glamorous and, you know, traveling the world. It gets hectic sometimes, and I was just glad to be that rock for her when she needed it.
So speaking of it getting hectic, like everybody looks at the fashion industry as glitz and glamour. The show, you guys are made to be DVF's like Barbie dolls. But what are some of the points where it's just like, I don't know if this is for me? I want like, Mom, like I'm calling home like, Mom, I really don't know if this show and being this show is for me. What were those points for you?
It's when you have to how do I put this? When you're negotiating with yourself, like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna try to do this, and then we're gonna get back to who we are. It's like we're gonna be like, okay, well, we're gonna put this costume on for X amount of time, you know, try to get in, and then we're gonna take that costume off and then be back. But once you put that costume on, you're gonna keep having to put that costume on.
Right.
And that's what people didn't understand, where people are like, well, girl, you know, you should have did this and you should have did that. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I could have done, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And I've spent so much of my life trying to be this different person, and right before the show, I was breaking away from that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna stick to this. So when I was put into that situation or being on the show, it kind of was like a test to be like, okay, are you really stepping away from molding yourself to what people want? Right. And so I went through with it, and this is what we have now.
So like I know, like on the show when you guys, you always wore DVF, right? And I noticed that your style of DVF and how you put it together was a lot different than the other girls who were on the show. And sometimes you stood out in an episode because of that. Right. Was that a thing? Because in my opinion, it's like, oh, they always are singling her out because she's who she is. Right. She doesn't fit the mold of this DVF girl that everybody idolizes or sees in their mind, but she's her own person. Right. Was that kind of like a good thing or a bad thing for you in your mind?
Oh, it's a good thing, because the thing is, when you have a brand, you want everybody to see themselves within your brand. So for all the girls that like the dark skin, natural, maybe neo soul type of sister out there that be like, you know, maybe DVF isn't for me, and then she peeps me and be like, yo, I could definitely wear that. That is like widening the, you know, the horizons of, you know, who you're trying to target. That's what I wanted to do. Right. Yes, DVF celebrates every woman. So if that case, I'm going to represent one of those women that you say that
are underrepresented.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I don't feel bad about it one bit, because how I dress is how I dress, and some people are, you know, commend me for it.
Right. So, as far as like, okay, so the show's going along, and then you come to like your last like episode where you're on the show, and then you know you go home. So what are your thoughts as you're being told that this is your time to go from the show? And once you leave the show and you look back on it, what are your thoughts?
I was devastated because it was a curveball. I didn't expect it, and that's where like it was more like shock than anything. But I knew that I wasn't going to do well in the sales, but I didn't know it was one of those things that was going to send me home. Right. So it was just like I was kind of taken back, and then that's when you get the influx of just like the what ifs, and I should have done this and I should have done that. Maybe I should have been, you know, trying to be something that I'm not just for the time being, you know. But then when I got home, it was sinking in. It was just like, yo, she was just like, she did you a favor. Like, Diane saw. Like, Diane is she's older, she's wiser. So
I
she
always
sees
say
that.
she's like another Coco Chanel.
Right,
Like,
she's wiser. Like, she's so wise, and she'd be able to tell you something that's like right there before your eyes. You're just trying not to look at it. But she literally, being on House of DVF, made me look at it and accept it for what it was.
right. So now that you see season 2, like, what are some of your reviews on season 2? Your comments?
See, you trying to get me to throw shade.
I mean, no,
yes.
I'm never trying to pull the shade, but if there is a cloud or a tree somewhere, I don't mind stepping under it.
Right, because we all love the shade. I feel that this season is, I don't know, like the girls they all kind of blend into me. I mean, blend in. And I can't set anyone apart. You know, first season you had Gina. You knew who Gina was.
Yeah.
You saw Gina's style. You know, you peeped that. You knew who Tiffany was. Tiffany was that girl from the Bronx. She had her own steez. Brittany, me, we all kind of stood out in our own way, but we were there for the same reasons.
Right.
This season, I don't feel that way.
Do you feel like there's anybody with Brittany's attitude? Like, I'm going to win regardless of whatever?
Yeah. I mean, for the record, Brittany is not like that for real.
Because on the show, they made her really seem like, it was some seasons where, I'm so like, yes, you go, girl, you go for it. But there was some episodes where I was like, wait, because if I was on this season and she just played us out like that, I would have been pissed.
Right.
They really made her seem like that person who did not care what was going on.
Right. But, you know, I mean, TV is TV. But I think the only person, I think I watched like 2 episodes, and I think one of the girls, I think her name is Kat. I don't remember. But she seems as if like, oh, I've done this and I've done that, and my grandfather did this and my grandfather did that, and I'm like, okay, you just extra.
Right.
So so at that point, I mean, I haven't watched it because it's not really like that intriguing to me as far as like, you know, who they are. No one's really like standing out. The only thing that stands out is people's attitudes, and I feel like
I feel like they're a little bit more entitled on this season. Like, they feel like it should be theirs because of who they are.
Right. And
but that's just my opinion, and who am I? But yeah. So now what are you doing? Like, after DVF, so a lot of people see reality shows and it's like, mama, I made it. But like, after DVF, the show, the season 1, what are you up to now?
Well, you know, being on TV, I mean, you're on TV. That's it.
Right.
I mean, and then after that, whatever is up in the air is all up to you. But now I am doing custom pieces. I used to do only stuff for women. Now I'm launching my men's collection. I'm actually collaborating with an international Nigerian artist. And, you know, start doing some custom stuff for him. So look out for that. It will be all over my social media. And, you know, that's it. I have a few other, you know, business ventures that I'm getting into, but, you know, I don't really let my words talk. I just show it.
As a designer should.
Exactly. So that's basically it.
So where can we find you at? Instagram, websites? Like, where can my audience find you?
Okay, Abspetit on all social media. So Abspetit on Twitter, Abspetit on Instagram, and that's ABSPETIT. It's Abspetit from House of DVF, Season 1. And I'm here with my girl, Lauren LaRosa, all right? Peeping in, doing some interviews here at the Revolt
and
TV
we are
Conference.
Petit, honey.
Okay,
this is style. This is style right here.
Okay.
Thank you.
But anyways, make sure you check her out for full exclusive interviews.
Yes.
Okay.
We're doing that.
And you are watching 2L.
This is Miss Claudia.
Shout out to 2L TV.
What up? It's your boy Young for 2L TV. I love these ladies. They're good.